sure Mary Hall and Matt Godfrey have ever agreed on anything. And tonight they were here together agreeing on these awards, and it was done by your alumni association. If we put your alumni association in the Middle East, we could have peace over there. Our next presentation is going to be taken care of by Mary. It's for the Distinguished Alumni, the Distinguished Alumni Awards, given to recognize alumni for exceptional achievement and service. Our first recipient this evening is Kempin. Kevin will come up after the video with Mary Hall, President of Weber State Alumni Association.
Kevin Kempin was born the son of a naval aviator. His family moved throughout the U.S. to follow his father's career.
I was somewhat athletically inclined, and so it was natural for me when we moved to all these cities to get involved in sports. So I grew up playing baseball, football, and basketball, and I didn't start playing tennis till the summer before my high school year, freshman high school year, if you can believe that. My dad was really upwardly mobile, doing a great job in his business, and he got transferred to, of all places, Salt Lake City, Utah. Growing up in Chicago, in a big city and as diverse as it was, I kind of came out kicking and screaming. Pretty much a bratty junior in high school. Going, you're kidding, we've got to move. Because the plan was always to go to Notre Dame. We'd go down to their football games. There's a little Irish in our background. So we came out here. For me, I thought it was going to be a 2-year stop and then head back to college. And I fell in love with Utah.
While in high school, Kevin won the Utah State title in tennis.
The coach at the time at Weber State was quite, was somebody who really came after me hard and was very persuasive. And Weber State was just far enough away where I could feel like I was going to do my own thing versus going to the University of Utah, but was still close enough for maybe some home-cooked meals on the weekend, maybe a little bit of laundry if things were stacking up. So that was kind of the choice.
At Weber State University, Kevin was a 4-time Big Sky champion in men's tennis.
So really for me, the positives were the people. And that sort of flavor of Weber State, where it was certainly everything you'd want in the university in terms of classes and learning and opportunities and diversity, but at the same time was small enough that I got to know my professors very, very well. And of course, the other highlights were my teammates throughout the year on the tennis program for 4 years.
Kevin graduated cum laude from the John B. Goddard School of Business and Economics at Weber State University.
Wasn't quite sure, and yet I was still playing tennis at a relatively high level, and I wanted to see how good I was. So I spent the year after college over in Europe on the pro tour. Came back and started teaching tennis lessons to save some money to go and apply and go get my MBA, and that was the plan. And met someone along the way who I went into business with, and we started our own sales agency in sporting goods. And one thing led to another, a company called Prince, which was the #1 tennis company at that time in the world, asked me to go to work for them. So I did that. One thing led to another. Never did get my MBA.
When Kevin met his future wife, Darlene, she set a high standard.
She was also a tennis player. Matter of fact, our first date, I met her, asked her to go play tennis, and her first question to me was, well, are you any good? I didn't want to waste her time if I wasn't. So that worked out great. That was a great first impression. So we met. We've been married almost 20 years, 19 years this past summer. We have 4 wonderful boys.
3 of Kevin and Darlene's sons are now the top-ranked tennis players in their age groups. As president of Head USA, an international manufacturer of winter, racket, and diving sports equipment, Kevin works to continue a tradition of innovation.
I consider myself incredibly lucky and fortunate to be able to do what I am doing. My education, Weber State, in the area of business administration, and to be able to take that, sort of build on it, had some practical experience through a lot of years of hard work, but then mesh it with one of my loves, which is tennis, and playing tennis at Weber State. I couldn't define a better job than being president of a tennis and ski company. The other part that's great is I've got a couple hundred employees here in the U.S., and the ability to try to make things better for them and make it an enjoyable workplace, and just the team and the camaraderie is something really special.
In 1997, Kevin was inducted into Weber State's Athletics Hall of Fame.
It was instilled in me early on from a work ethic standpoint. Both my parents and my grandparents, having been close to them growing up, really had a phenomenal work ethic. To me, it's second nature. You put in the time, you put in the effort, you put in the preparation.
Kevin enjoys seeing the success of his sons.
It is just phenomenal to see my four sons grow and develop, and to see them excelling in school and getting their 4.0s.
Kevin credits his Weber State coach, the late Keith Cox, with influencing the direction of his life.
And Keith was there, boy, I think Keith coached probably 30 years. But my 4 years at Weber State, he was a big influence, and was really great to be able to have his guidance during some pretty important developmental years. Keith was, again, an amazing guy, touched a lot of people's hearts, and I was very honored. His wife Connie asked me to come up and speak at the funeral. So I represented 30 years of players and hundreds of players, and a good part of them were there at the service. And it was really touching to see the community come out and see all the players come back from all over the country and other parts of the globe, because I think what Keith meant to all of them, and it was very special to be asked. I was very honored to be asked.
The Weber State Alumni Association is proud to honor Kevin Kempin with the 2011 Distinguished Alumnus Award.
Kevin, on behalf of the Weber State University Alumni Association, it is my very great privilege to award you the 2011 Distinguished Alumnus Award.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm kind of in awe of the 5 people that just came before me. Where's Alan? It's kind of tough coming up with those kind of people. So Ralph and Jeannie and Jim and Barney and everyone else, just congratulations. We had a chance to have a very nice dinner last night up at President Miller's house, and it was really amazing the different generations, but how quickly we bonded with the benefits, really, quite honestly, just the fortunate lives we've had to be touched by Weber State. And so it was really fun getting to spend some time with all of you. Thank you for your leadership to the Alumni Association, and I'll thank you and your whole group and staff. This is really a big honor. I said most of what I would say anyway in the video, so I won't be too redundant. I do want to thank Connie Cox. Where are you at, Connie? There she is. Give Connie a big hand. I was very fortunate to have 4 great years at Weber State as a student athlete, and phenomenal time in my life. Our global supervisory board that I serve on has an MBA from Harvard, has a graduate from Oxford, has a graduate from the Wharton School, and has little old me from Weber State. And what does that tell you about Weber State? I have some family here that I want to thank, and one of the good traits I inherited from my dad is I get very emotional, so I got to get through this quick. So, my parents who are here, they always allowed me to succeed but also fail. And I think in failing sometimes you learn as much as far as life lessons than succeeding all the time. So I thank you for that, and always being there and always support. My sister Julie, who was a much better tennis player than I was as a kid. Clearly from the video, you saw that I overachieved in the marriage category. My wife, Darlene, And my three Studley sons, if you could stand up, please, and face the crowd.
Yeah, got it.
So the circle of life, as it happens, Brendan, my 16-year-old, is actually coming back up on Saturday, if you can believe it, for a recruiting visit to play tennis at Weber State. So how about that? Again, I wish they were all here, professors, certainly Keith, Connie, and all those people that had just left an indelible impression and really sent me on my way to having a little small bit of success out there in life. I have one last thing, and it's a little probably out of the ordinary. Connor, can you come up just for a second?
Yeah, got it.
So how boring to watch your dad all night on your 13th birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Con.